I don't drink soda.
5.
Hold on. All right. Go ahead. Yeah. Move what you can. Move what you need to. All right. Okay. Ooh.
5. 4. 3.
Yo, welcome to the Natural Habitat Podcast. My name is Mikey Booyah.
My name's Awesome Ty.
Computers here, free candies here, blah, blah, blah. I just got back from Vegas, all right? Sin City, the land of the most entertaining city in the world, Viva Las Vegas.
Whoa.
Viva Las Vegas. What happens in Vegas? Say it with me.
It stays in Vegas?
What happens in Vegas?
It stays in Vegas. So you're not going to tell us about your trip then? I'm gonna.
Your
eyes are a little bloodshot there, man. Did you have a good time?
I did. I had a great time.
What's with the sunglasses, pal? We're indoors.
Well, I've been in Vegas, so I've been doing this cool guy, rich guy persona, As you see, I'm wearing a very satanic shirt.
Trying to pass as like a whale. Is that what they call them in Vegas? The high rollers.
Trying to be a whale.
High roller.
Luck be a lady tonight.
Okay. Yeah.
Huh? So
I figured you'd want more of like a tuxedo look, like a Sinatra look.
Well, no, because
like an old timey Vegas look.
Because nowadays the whales, they look different than that classic look that we're thinking of.
Oh shit!
Because we were talking about the Gucci store and how it used to be a certain type of person that went to the Gucci store, and now you can get a lot more of like a SoundCloud rapper looking guy that goes to the Gucci store, and they don't know who's who.
Yeah.
They don't know who's browsing and going there as a meme.
But you either gotta look like really like goofy or like really rich. Like if you're just like a regular guy like me, like I go in the Gucci store there and be like, sir, I'm gonna get thrown out of there unless I'm immediately start flashing my cash around and just throwing stacks in the air.
Yeah, and that's what you got to do, because when I go there, it's high rollers. All right, it's high stakes.
Yeah,
it's high desert.
High noon? Did you go in there at high noon?
High noon, I did do some high noon stuff. You got the neon lights,
Big city lights. We have big city lights.
Yeah, we have a big city here, but this city is big. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Jackpot. Right?
Did you hit a jackpot?
I did. I won some money. I hit a jackpot.
Okay.
I won some money.
How much money did you
I'm gonna actually take these off.
It's probably for the best.
Can't really see very good.
Yeah.
I remember Roach Clip, whenever he would do a podcast, he would wear headphones the whole time. Or
sunglasses, yeah. He's notorious for wanting, anytime he's going to be seen by like people outside of the norm, he wants sunglasses on.
I think he's embarrassed of his eye color.
Yeah, and like he'll just wear the worst sunglasses possible too. He'll wear like a pair of like white sunglasses or something that's like or
the ones that are like rainbow and have the big
just horrible sunglass selections. So I mean, really, he's better off just toughing it out with
he wears Lake Bro sunglasses.
Just bad sunglasses. Bad person.
So I did go to Vegas. I won some money.
How was the Big Mouth Billy convention?
The Big Mouth Billy Bass convention was a lot of fun. It was very, very submersive.
Submersive how so?
It was all VR. So it was immersive. It was subversive. You would go into this VR world. The Billy Bass would sing.
See, I'm picturing like when you say submersive, like they pack you into like, I don't know, like some sort of little capsule like thing, and then they put, there's like a virtual lake that they submerge you in.
Yeah.
And you're going through, and there's actual like big mouth Billy Basses flying around, or at least supposed to be, and you're able to view them through a small viewfinder and like a little window.
Now that would have been a great idea. Would you scoot over just a little bit, please? Just get you. I think that the framing might be a little waka. You know what I mean? Yeah, that would have been great. That would have been a great idea.
That's not what happened.
That's not what happened. They put you in you go in the VR, you're in like a room. It's like a dark room. There's big mouth Billy Bass all over the walls.
Like actual ones or virtual ones?
Well, they're real, but they're virtual. They're in this virtual world, but they're actual ones. They're on the walls. One goes off, it starts a chain reaction.
Yeah, like
a bunch of things goes off.
Happened.
Your parents are fighting outside.
So it was basically a recreation of your childhood.
It really was. It was what I was, but it was the fear that I was trying to overcome, which really, I have that nightmare all the time. So it wasn't anything new.
So you were able to conquer your inner demons, would you say?
I would not say that.
Oh. Well, that's unfortunate.
What I did was I joined my inner demons. Since it was Sin City, I kind of instead of conquering them, I went along with what they were trying to do. And I think it was a good idea.
Yeah.
Is that a proper time for a haunting laugh?
I picture did you see some guys dressed up like the band Kiss at any point? I figured Vegas has got to be swarming with people dressed up like the rock band Kiss, with all the makeup and the prosthetic tongue and just leather apparel.
Did they sing a Vegas themed song?
No, not at all. But I haven't been to Vegas in a while, and my recollection's a little fuzzy.
Yeah.
And so just trying to generate in my mind what current modern Las Vegas is like.
So
I'm thinking less Rat Pack and more Kiss impersonators.
So I thought that, impersonators, that was one of the main things I thought of. I was like, oh, you get to go take a picture with
there's going to be a bunch of
styles.
Like a bunch of Elvi.
With Elmo.
Elvi. A group of Elvi.
Lots of Elvi. But maybe it has to do with COVID and everybody coming up and hugging the costume over and over again. And it's just a huge transmitter of COVID. But I only saw one group of impersonators, and it was
Kiss impersonators, yeah?
No, not Kiss impersonators. It was a Goofy and a Mickey. And they were doing the classic thing where they had the heads up and they were smoking cigarettes. And then a kid ran up, and then he did one of these and threw his head down and it covered his head. And then he said hi to the kid while still holding a cigarette.
And I'm picturing the bit from Home Alone where he gives him a couple of Tic Tacs.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Merry Christmas, kid.
Merry Christmas, kid." Yeah.
Everybody that sees Santa gets something.
Mm-hmm. But that was it as far as impersonators. I didn't see a single Kiss impersonator. Not one flock of Elvi. But the cities are changing.
It's changing, man. Times have changed.
It is. The times are changing. So, seeing as how I just went to Vegas, I just live this Vegas lifestyle. I want to help everybody out there that has some sort of upcoming or future trip to Vegas, and teach everybody the things that I learned on this trip in 2023 Vegas.
Okay.
Which is a new thing,
Sure.
But before we do that, we have some headlines to go over.
Yeah, I think we do, right?
Mm-hmm. So people keep talking. There's a movie about a submarine. What's the submarine stuff?
Are you talking about the yellow submarine from the Beach Boys?
No.
Is it the Beatles or the Beach Boys?
The Beatles. We all live in a
computer.
Don't know.
Computer. Who sang this song about the yellow submarine?
Computer, stop. It was the Beatles.
The Beatles.
Yeah.
So they had a movie or a music video that went with it, and it was about a yellow submarine and them living in it.
No, that's not, because this was in the news, so it's new. Unless that's the 50th anniversary of that. Beatles Yellow Submarine is old news.
Oh.
But this was James Cameron said something about it. It's a James Cameron movie about a submarine. People that go on submarines.
Titanic. The film Titanic, the 1994, is it?
James Cameron made Titanic.
93,
right?
94, 95. Mid-90s film by James Cameron, the Titanic about...
No, this isn't about the old movie.
Jack and Rose.
This is a new movie that's called... it's called... Oh, fuck. Ocean Gate. New movie by Lionsgate called Ocean Gate. And it's about this submarine and a bunch of billionaires hire this eccentric robotics guy.
Yeah.
Who is the new Jacques Cousteau. Or the other one. Computer, who was Jacques Cousteau?
Jacques Cousteau, AC, was a French naval officer, oceanographer, filmmaker, and author. He co-invented the first successful aqualung, open-circuit scuba. The apparatus assisted him in producing some of the first underwater documentaries.
We get the idea.
So, he's like a modern day Jacques Cousteau, where he's doing underwater,
like an ocean guy,
ocean stuff,
like the Wes Anderson movie with Bill Murray. Yeah, he's got like a red beanie.
Bill O'Reilly.
No, Bill O'Reilly's the television pundit.
You're thinking of the Norton's fish sticks guy?
No, I'm thinking of Steve Zissou. The Life and Times of Steve Zissou. Computer, who's Steve Zissou then?
From Wikipedia.org. Sue finished in 4th place in the 10 kilometers open water marathon at the 2016 Summer Olympics in Rio de Janeiro. 2.2 seconds behind gold medalist.
I mean, like, there's some water. You said something about water. No? Or we got, like, our stories mixed up here?
So this is really new. This is, Ocean Gate. They have this eccentric guy who he doesn't follow the rules. You know, people are like, you should have a latch on the inside to open your submarine. And he says, no latch. You know?
What do you mean there's no latch?
So once you get in it, you can't open it. That's like one of the twists of the movie. Once you get in it, it's bolted shut from the outside with 17 bolts.
Well, what if like a freak accident should occur and you absolutely need to leave the submarine immediately?
There's no situation ever where you would need to leave the submarine under the water. It's not safe. Electronics and such.
There's nothing, there's no such thing as a fail-safe submarine or boat or anything like that. There's always going to be an inherent risk involved.
Well, I think that's the suspense of the movie. So all of these billionaires, there's like an oil tycoon. There's like a British oligarch type of guy. And, they all go into the submarine to go down and see the Titanic.
I thought they were going down to see Big Mouth Billy Bass in like a lake.
No. That was different.
Was that something I said earlier?
Yeah, that was earlier. Okay. So they're going down.
Going down.
To the burning ring of fire.
Sugar rum, fun.
Wait,
I think of the Fall Out Boy. Going down, number one with the bullet. Number one, I'm going down. I think it's Fall Out Boy.
Yeah, it's Fall Out Boy. Never heard of that. I've heard of Fall Out Boy, but I never heard of that song. So maybe
it's on the soundtrack of this movie.
Maybe it's a Mandela effect.
Like, do you think that because we haven't seen this movie yet, it could be on the soundtrack? There's probably a
lot of songs about going down.
Yeah, for sure. Probably a lot. For sure. And like maybe even the Yellow Submarine songs on the
Yeah, it could be.
It could be. We gotta see
songs about submarines, songs about going down. So there's these billionaires, they hire this guy with the unopenable submarine. Once you get in, you're sealed in.
So you're just locked in tight?
You're locked in tight.
There's once they batten down the hatches, there's no escaping this death trap.
And they go down, you have the sunlight zone, which is as far down as the light can reach.
Yeah, okay.
Then you got the Twilight Zone, where it starts getting... This isn't the popular anthology horror series.
No, definitely not.
This is a part of the ocean where you can barely see a little bit, like Twilight, a little bit of light. Then you have the Dark Zone. Then you have the Abyss. And then under that, you have the trenches. And right above the trenches lie El Titanic. The Titanic.
Yeah.
And... these billionaires, they want to see it. And people are like, cool, we have a submarine with a camera on it. We could just put it down there. You could see it. They go, no. I want to see it with my own eyes. I make the money here. People be going into space. I be going into water. So, later, it's probably like a budget version of shooting yourself into space. You know how that's like a billionaire thing now?
Yeah, with like Richard Branson and SpaceX and all that. Yeah.
So if you can't afford the trip to space... then you just get the trip to the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, it's like a poor man's expedition.
Yeah. So they went down there in this like homemade submarine, and then like chaos ensues,
What sort of chaos?
Well, from the preview, like I just read like a transcription of the preview with like stage directions and everything. and it's like one of the thrusters doesn't work. So one of them was actually installed backwards. So one on one side is facing this way and the other one's facing this way. So when they try to accelerate, they just spin in a circle. So they can't move, right? They're spinning. Then he says there's something jammed in the uterus.
The uterus, that's like a female reproductive organ.
Well, nautical terms are always like very similar with menstruational.
I'll have to take your word for it just because I'm not familiar with the industry, but
So we
that
got-
sounds plausible.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of water, like ocean terms, like wet. You know, that's a sexual
That's a sex thing.
sex thing. You got the Princess Labia from Star Wars. She was like, she had a whole planet that she was the princess of, and that had an ocean.
I think the Queen Mary, that's something to do with the ocean. So yeah, that
Uh-huh.
sounds plausible.
Prince Albert,
Prince Albert,
which
yeah,
is getting
sure.
more towards dicks, but they're the vagina's cousin.
Okay.
Let's see, the depths. That's also
The depth
slang for like a girl with a very deep vagina. You can't like get to the end of
You
it.
can't hit those walls.
You can't go to the bottom. Let's see. That's it. But that's all you need. That's enough examples,
That
right?
sounds like a movie I have no interest in seeing.
The
Honestly.
ocean
I'm just
is-
not into.
Ocean's very clitoral.
Remember there was that movie like with Samuel L. Jackson. I think it was called Deep Sea 7 or
Deep Blue Sea?
Deep Blue Sea.
Yeah.
Deep Blue Sea is it like a sequel
Was
to
Samuel
that?
L. Jackson in that?
Computer. Who's in the movie Deep Blue Sea?
From ScreenGeek.net. Deep Blue Sea is a cult classic shark horror film starring Thomas Jane, LL Cool J, and Samuel L.
Oh,
yeah.
oh.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
and Samuel L. Jackson's in this movie. You
Wait,
said
Thomas Jane?
Thomas Jane. Yeah, it's the token white guy.
And Samuel L. Jackson is, I don't know if he's in this movie. In Ocean Gate?
Yeah.
I don't know. The preview was like, it made it seem like it could just be, the billionaire, you got a British billionaire, which is played by the British guy that's in everything.
Hey, I'm Sir Arthur.
Mhm.
Blah, 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 blah.
Then you have the oil tycoon guy, which is played by Aziz Ansari.
Oh no, I was picturing like a big loudmouth Texan.
Oh no, this is like a Saudi Arabian oil tycoon.
Oh.
At least from his name, I
Yeah.
think it was. And then, then you have the eccentric billionaire guy who's
Christopher Lloyd type, is he like
he's played by Christopher Lloyd.
okay, yeah.
But they CGI'd him to look younger, so it's like a younger
So
Christopher
it's like
Lloyd.
a Back to the Future era Christopher Lloyd. Classic.
No, way younger.
Classic Lloyd.
I'm talking like Camp Nowhere. You remember that one?
I think that is after Back to the Future. Yeah,
But he wore younger outfits.
Okay. Camp Nowhere era Christopher Lloyd. That's a great Lloyd.
Mm-hmm. So he's in it, and then what's the guy that made Hostel? The Hostel movies?
C. Everett Koop.
C. Everett Koop makes a cameo. But did you see Gravity with George Clooney?
No, but there's a cartoon that my children watch sometimes called Gravity Falls. Great
Gravity
cartoon.
Falls is really good.
Great cartoon.
Yeah, I got down on.
I
Gravity
probably
Falls.
watched that more than I'd watch this submarine movie, but
Yeah, but I don't know. I think that it's going to be interesting, and there's going to be one of the big questions for me is like, what happens when something implodes at 20,000 feet under the sea? Under the sea. Remember that?
oh yeah, see that's another thing I was wondering is like what surface level was the Little Mermaid taking place, because in some of the scenes of Little Mermaid, like there's a great deal of light. There's that scene where like
in the sunlight zone. Little Mermaid is almost exclusively in the sunlight zone, unless when Ariel goes to Ursula's den, that is dipping into the twilight zone.
okay.
But everything else is really only like 30, 40 feet.
So it's not too far off the coast then.
Not too far at all. We have a new segment. I hate to break up the thing, but we have a new segment brought to you by, we have a new segment brought to you by Skittles. And this isn't like a sellout thing. we actually do stand behind Skittles. We think that Skittles are good.
No.
I don't know.
I mean, they're available. Skittles are available in a store near you.
So, I don't really like Skittles that much.
No, I can't stand Skittles.
Yeah.
Honestly, I heard that Skittles might get banned in America because they contain bromulated vegetable oil.
What the
which is
fuck?
they're trying to
Bromulated
ban.
vegetable oil?
Yeah, it's like the worst kind of vegetable
That
oil.
sounds scary.
It's like an intentionally cancerous vegetable oil that
Jesus.
the conglomerates are pumping into our food. And Skittles is one of those.
Fuck, and they've been around forever, too.
Yeah.
People just be eating Skittles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucked up, and I hope they do. But until then, they're giving us CPM on all this, 12.6 CPM.
Oh, is that on the back end?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Jerry cut it back in 3. So we're just going to have to.
So we're just going to run with the
Yeah,
Skittles?
This episode is brought to you by Skittles, baby.
Taste
Skittles.
the rainbow.
You gotta taste it.
the
This is
rainbow.
the most delicious
You've seen
thing.
the rainbows after it rains. Now you can fucking taste them. You got red, you got green, yellow, all the colors of the rainbow. You're gonna taste them.
Yeah, and you're gonna love them. Sometimes I eat them for dinner. I don't even eat dinner. I just eat Skittles. So go to a Skittles store near you or get a vending machine where you can pick your own colors. And they're also available at Walmart.
They don't really digest, so it's almost like a pile of rocks at the bottom of your stomach. So that's gonna keep you full for a couple weeks at least.
Sorry, I thought you were just... It's going to keep you full. It's going to fill you up. So go to Skittles.com, go to Walmart.
They're hardy.
NHP,
They're hardy.
Use the code NHP and save yourself 12%, we'll say.
Yeah, they wanted to give you 10% off, but we fought hard for that extra 2%, as we always do.
Yeah, this is loud, dude. I don't know why that's so loud. Fucking damn Skittles music.
Skittles, man.
You know how like sometimes when you're watching commercials, it'll be like a steady volume and then one just fucking as loud as fuck?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what Skittles did. They paid for the volume boost.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta go where the money takes you.
That's right. So, I think this submarine movie is going to be dope. I think that it's going to be like cool, innovative. Did you see the new season of Black Mirror?
No.
Just
Is
came out?
there a new season of Black Mirror?
Yeah, it just dropped like a couple days ago.
Oh, shit.
And every episode is amazing. It's solid. All of them. And it's only like 5 episodes or something per season. But I think that this is going to be like a Black Mirror-esque type vibe. Like, you don't know what's going to happen down there. There's this episode of Black Mirror with the guy who played Jesse Pinkman on Breaking Bad.
Oh, yeah.
And then Josh...
C. Everett Koop.
Yeah, C. Everett Koop. And then Josh Hartnett. You remember him? He was like remember that movie, The Faculty?
Oh, yeah.
He was in The Faculty. He was like the
like
druggy kid.
The beady, squinty eyes.
Yeah, and the bowl cut. And was like the 90s heartthrob guy.
Yeah.
So he's in it, and they both kill it. And I think that this movie...
They both kill the show, or they both, like,
They kill themselves, kill the show, perform well, kill the vibe, kill the competition, and it was outstanding.
With a pistol?
I give it 10 out of 10. No, because they're in space, so if you shoot a gun, it's like a whole thing.
Oh, yeah. It's, physics.
But I think that this submarine movie is going to be a lot like that. It's going to
Black
be
Mirror.
like that episode of Black Mirror. They're trapped. Jacques Cousteau's ghost is there. And there's probably going to be some sort of supernatural element with the Titanic, like ghost, Titanic ghost.
Yeah, I'm thinking like something like a plot twist where the French government actually like just completely fumbled the bag on this, and there's like a catastrophe, and it turns out the French government is behind it, and some American Marines are going to have to come with one of their submarines and like try to rescue this thing because the French are just completely inept and incapable of doing something like that.
Yeah.
And, that for, like, maybe that could be the sequel, but I'm picturing, like, I don't know if Harrison Ford would be too old at this point to play, like, the lead Marine.
CGI.
He might be, like, more, like, better suited for, like a supporting role of kind of like the wily veteran. Yeah, he had to come out of retirement. Yeah. He's the only one that knows the codes for the periscope.
Yeah, I think that would be good. Also, I like the idea of them actually being able to open it from the inside and having that twist happen. Because in movies, you had like the same thing, the same formula happens so many times that eventually they have to switch it up, and you don't know what's real, you don't know what's what. Like there was an episode. Have you seen the new Black Mirror? The new season of Black Mirror?
Yeah.
So there was that one episode where the whole time they're like, if we don't do this, the apocalypse is going to happen. And then they, right at the very last minute, they don't pull it off. And then the apocalypse happens.
Yeah, of course.
And then it's like,
yeah, then
okay, cool.
Like, it's the end of the world.
Mm-hmm. So you can't just build up to everyone saving the day like it used to be. You got to do all these twists and turns along the way.
So you're saying at the end of the sequel, Americans are going to be unsuccessful in rescuing this thing, and these people are just going to implode or perish, and it's going to be a tragedy?
I think that they're going to go sink farther into the trenches, right?
They're going to go all the way to the bottom, the center of the core of the Earth, as far as we know?
They're going to use the very last bit of their thrusters energy to give themselves a little boost. You know what I mean? To try to get some momentum
deeper?
up.
Are they thinking that they're just going to...
No, they're trying to go up.
Oh, okay. They're trying to go up.
But because of their backwards thruster, they kind of just like spin in a circle.
Yeah, they didn't recalibrate the engines.
No. So they do a sideways thing. They go into an underwater cave that's in the trenches, right?
I'm picturing some sort of like giant sea monster, yeah?
No.
No.
What they do is they go in, they float up, and then they surface. Way under the water in an underwater cave, they surface. There's life there. There's air. It's pressurized. You know,
is it like the lost city
it's
of
like
Atlantis?
The lost city of Atlantis. They're there. They're in it. They discover it. They go, we need to get back to the surface. They go, use my phone. They give them the phone. They call. They say, you won't believe who this is. It's what was the guy's name?
And then I'm thinking on this, like back in the real world, like 100 years has passed, and they're like, they call and they're like, yeah, we're the submarine that got lost.
And they're like, hey, didn't you have a great grandpa named Hamish Harding? And he's like, yeah. Is this a prank? And it's like a whole thing.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. Turns out to be him. Then they get him out of Atlantis, bring him back up, and then there's like an Encino Man type situation where he has to become accustomed.
Readjust to the future.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be presumably flying cars and,
like there's a little green walk sign and then he walks and then he almost gets hit by a car. And
yeah. I mean, it's going to probably be even more woke. So like he's going to be like just making completely offensive, remarks, and there's going to be a whole problem with that.
Yeah.
And they're eventually going to maybe send him back into the depths of the ocean.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they could do a lot. I think that they probably should have made it like a Netflix series.
Yeah, that's what I basically gifted them like an entire franchise now. So there's going to have to be at least 4 movies.
And if any of these ideas happen with that Ocean Gate submarine movie, then you owe us. This is copywritten now. We're putting it out. We're releasing it. It's becoming canon. It's fact.
Intellectual property. And
IP.
As we've established, our intellectual property is constantly being stolen, but this is not going to be another instance of that.
No. So just because you're Lionsgate, you can't do whatever you want. So yeah, that's going to be exciting. Look out for that. That's probably going to come this fall. Yeah. Or maybe it's like the end of the summer thing. Summer hasn't even really started, right?
It doesn't feel like it.
Isn't it like June 21st?
No, I think it actually has started, technically.
Computer, what's the first day of summer? Computer, what's the first day of summer?
In the United States, summer began on Wednesday, June 21st and ends on Friday, September 22nd.
I was like...
Computer, play Summer Girls.
All right. Summer Girls by LFO from Spotify.
So yeah, that'll be probably coming out this summer, I would imagine, since they have the trailer cut already.
Yeah, that's definitely a big summer blockbuster.
Mm-hmm. So in Vegas, in 2023, it's a whole new world, it's a whole new habitat.
Less Kiss impersonators than I would have envisioned, but you know what?
Now I went right after. So all of my Vegas trips, most of them were pre-COVID. Then I went to Vegas right after it opened back up after COVID.
When everything's just, kind of, everybody's still wearing masks. Oh, you're still masked up?
Everywhere.
Okay.
social distancing, like all this stuff.
Yeah, so it's going to be like not the full Vegas experience.
Yes. And then this time it was fucking wild.
Was there a sense of lawlessness going kind
Yes.
of, like just kind of a free for all?
Absolutely. There was that. I walked into the lobby of Caesar's Palace and I saw this dude on the phone, blood all over his face, his arm, like smeared everywhere.
Are you sure this wasn't kiss paint?
No, this was blood.
Okay.
Kiss, they don't have red paint, do they?
I have no idea.
Just the red tongue.
No, I think they're computer. What color is Kiss's paint?
From GrahamBrown.com. Lemon Kisses is the ideal exquisite yellow paint to add a hint of graceful color.
Okay. Anyways.
Intelligent, they call them. So no, this was not paint. This was not staged.
Just regular old blood.
Regular blood. He was on his phone. He was frantic. He was scrambling. He was covered in blood. He ran in. He was looking around everywhere. He ran out. No big deal. I saw another guy and he was dead on the street.
No, I hate to beat a dead horse here, but again, are you certain that it wasn't just kiss paint? Presenting the illusion of him being deceased?
Well, no, he did look like ghostly, like white.
Yeah, and maybe like some black
and
around
some
his
black.
eyes.
Yeah, like he had a black eye.
Yeah, no, he's doing a Gene
That
Simmons.
actually might have been kiss paint.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, that guy might have been kiss paint. But there was people smoking weed everywhere, which is, I remember Vegas has always been like a felony to possess weed.
Yeah, like back in the day, there used to be like a billboard that said like, you're going to do prison time if we find so much as a seed of marijuana on you. And then they legalized, and like as did Peter Tosh suggest to do that?
He did,
Tosh
yeah. He said
legalize it, and they listened.
They did. And now that it's legal, you can buy it there at all these places, but you can't smoke it like anywhere. So you can only smoke it on your property. So you can't smoke it in a hotel. You can't smoke it in your car. You can't smoke it in public on the strip anywhere. They don't have like cafes or places where you're allowed to like ingest it.
So where are you supposed to smoke it?
You're not. You're supposed to buy it from them. Their shitty 21% THC weed, and then take it home, I guess. But everybody was smoking constantly. It was just like the smell of joints.
It is lawlessness.
And nobody was doing anything. I remember we were outside smoking at like 3 a.m. and these sheriffs walked by. They had sheriff on their vest.
Oh, yeah.
Full tactical vest, steroids, like they were like the serious ones,
Like Reno 911 kind of?
No, not that. Not goofy.
Like goofy comment.
Not goofy. These guys were serious.
Yeah, these guys were...
They were like the cops you don't want to interact with.
The cops that are going to quite possibly choke you to death and then cover the whole thing up.
Mm-hmm. They might do it on accident. And just because of like the rage.
Right, yeah.
So they walk by, we're smoking a joint, they don't even look at us. And the smoke is like billowing towards them. And they just kind of like are talking and walking and just...
It's because they have these body cameras now, so they can't like just shoot you anymore.
No. And the body camera probably scanned our faces and then we'll get tickets in the mail.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Like public consumption.
Big Brother's watching you.
$500. But there was, with this lawlessness, is that what it is?
Something like that.
With this lawlessness comes grifting. A lot of grifters. So Vegas has been a con artist town.
Sure, you got people, in the casinos trying to pull one over on the blackjack dealer, or counting cards, doing trying to. Everybody's trying to come up in Vegas. They're trying to come up at someone else's expense.
Mm-hmm. People trying to rob people. A lot of trans prostitutes. Mostly trans prostitutes, I noticed.
Now, how would you know? Is it just really obvious, or did you find out?
Some of them were.
Did you find out the hard way?
Some of them were like like I was like, something's a little off here, but for the most part, a lot of them were clearly men that were beautiful, beautiful men. women.
Beautiful trans women.
Trans women is what I meant to say. And there's always like prostitutes everywhere in Vegas. They hang out at the fountains. They hang out at the bar. They'll like sit there by themselves and just vape and look hot. And then you go up and talk to them and they're like $500. Does that sound reasonable?
You know, like I said, I haven't been to Vegas in a while, but that sounds reasonable.
Yeah. So, there was a lot of prostitutes. Like always, but most of I don't know if it was just the area that I was in. Maybe Caesar's Palace is like a hotspot for trans prostitutes.
Are you saying that by being trans, they grifted you? Or they're grifting Johns by being trans?
Yes, that.
Okay.
That's the other one. They don't tell you, if it is the fact that they don't tell you. If they say, I'm a beautiful woman, it'll be $500.
I mean, are they saying that, though? Or are they just saying it's $500? I mean, that's kind of
I heard one person say that.
Perhaps you should be, like, questioning, or at least, like, do your due diligence and figure it out before you go and, you know, get this person naked.
And that actually is one of my points that I wanted to lead into. Your due diligence for getting a prostitute in Vegas. There's questions that you want to ask, all right? You want to say, are you a man?
Yeah.
And then if they say no, then you have to like reiterate and be like, well, were you once a man? Do you have a penis still? Then they answer that. Then you say, are you going to drug me? And then you say, do you have any STDs? Then you say,
it's just a simple interview process.
Yeah.
You know, like
how much?
Any other job applicant would have to go through. I mean, It's no different than that.
How much for an hour? How much for 3 hours?
What are your salary requirements?
Yeah. Then you want to ask who else is involved. If there's some sort of like pimp or middleman that's involved and maybe watching from another bar stool.
See, no, I figure in that case, you'd want to be negotiating directly with the pimp. That's probably
that's when you cut ties.
You're going to get the he's the one that's going to be able to do the haggling. There's going to be very little room for negotiation, like with the prostitutes themselves. But you get in with the pimp, and maybe you can like work a little magic, get that price down to $300.
But that's not something that you really have to worry about if you're at Caesar's Palace, because, like I said, there was a lot of trans prostitutes, and I think that they traditionally act as their own pimps.
Is that like sexist?
It's like the thing where it's like
that feels problematic to me.
It's like half suit and then like half dress, and then they like stand this way and their hair slicked back and they're like, "Hello, mister, let me tell you something." And then they turn around and they're like, "Well, I'll be," and they have makeup and stuff.
And if this was happening in like a Looney Tunes cartoon, then that sounds like how it was.
So it's the real life version of that.
Right.
So when you want to haggle with them, then they turn into their pimp, persona. This is just what I experienced the one time. This could not be, or what I saw experience. Someone else experience is what I meant to say.
Sure.
Then there's a lot of jewelry salesmen.
Like in the jewelry stores?
No, they are men that pretty suspect looking guys that walked through the casino and tried to hand me a handful of jewelry. And it was like a ring and like a gold necklace and like maybe some earrings all bundled together.
That's nice. That seems nice.
And he went like this, and he kind of motioned for me to take it.
He was trying to give you a gift.
No.
Like how sometimes like you said you were posing as a high roller. The high rollers get comped. The casinos are trying to keep them there, so they're giving you gifts. They're giving you free buffet, free room, free jewelry.
No, this guy did not work for the casino. He was doing this a lot. He was looking around. He was keeping an eye out for security. He was shifty. And tried to hand me this jewelry, and I was like, no, I'm good. Thank you. And then he said, take it again. I said, no. And then he just like walked away, went and hit somebody else. And then I went out to the parking garage, and this guy pulled up, and he was like, assalamu alaikum. And I was like, hey. And he was like, today's your lucky day. And he's like window down, rolling out of his, like hanging out of his car. And he reaches out with a little handful of jewelry. It was a different guy. And I was like, no. And then walked off. So these guys will give you the jewelry, and then they ask you for money afterwards. And then if you say, I don't want to pay for the jewelry, they go, it's real gold, and also there's no refunds. You already have it.
You already have it, yeah. Like blackjack, no trade backs.
No trade backs.
So, yeah. I've experienced that same grift in the form of, like, people handing out mixtapes, and you think you're getting a free CD. This doesn't happen so much now that CDs aren't as much of a thing, but remember back in the day, there'd be all these aspiring rappers. They hand you your CD, you're like, oh, I'm gonna check this out. And they're like, yeah, $10.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, no, I'm not paying you $10 for this thing. This thing's free.
And they're like, all right, well, $5, $3. And then they get a couple dollars.
It's a racket.
And then,
racketeering.
And then this is what they finally got our group. We were walking through the strip, and this lady comes up, and she has this little book, and it's like a Buddhist, like there's like a Buddha, and it says like peace, love, tranquility, and like all this stuff on it.
Sure.
And she says like respect, love, and just kind of like comes up and like is like talking to us and not looking at us. She's like looking down, and then she like has all these bracelets on, and she like grabs one and like opens it up, and then someone in our group was like, ooh, and put their hand in it. And then she put another one on someone else, and then put another one on a third person, and then she was like, donation. And then someone else was like, pulled out their wallet and started rifling through. And I was like, why are you, no, like there's no sale here. No sale has happened. Just give the bracelet back. And then, she got like $37.
$37 for this bracelet?
$37 for 3 bracelets.
Was this like a gold bracelet or no?
No, it was made out of beads. It looked like something you would buy in bulk at a swap meet for like, $10 for a box of 5,000.
You got hustled there.
Yeah, real bad. Well, I didn't. I wasn't a part of that. I just witnessed it happen.
Just like you just witnessed the trans prostitute.
Which makes, yeah, exactly. So that's why I wanted to, talk to all the listeners out there and give them some tricks on how to not get grifted.
Now, are we giving them tips or are we giving them tricks? Because there's a difference.
We're giving them tips and we're giving them tricks.
Okay, cool.
And we will, rest assured that we will, like, clarify which is which as we go through. So, here is a trick that you can play on grifters. You create a bad luck persona. Okay. So you think of this character of a guy who, has lost it all in Vegas over the weekend.
Down on his luck, Chuck?
Yeah, down on his luck, Chuck. Wife found out that, you traded the car in.
The factory's closing down.
You traded in your watch. You traded in your grandfather's ring. There's like all
I'm
this
picturing
stuff,
you've got like a sports coat that has like all these patches of different colors.
Yeah. Can't take care of your sports coat.
These patches, I mean, like, you at least use like a fabric that looks reasonably similar to the initial color. But
no, it's like a burlap.
Yeah.
On a blue coat. And, so down on his luck, Chuck, wife found out that he sold the truck. She hopped on a plane and left the city, took the kids.
He's fallen upon hard times for sure.
Yeah. So you want to be that character of Chuck, and
or at least appear that way to these grifters? Is that what you're saying?
As far as you need to take it, you could lose a little bit of money to kind of help get. Some people are method with stuff like that. A lot of people aren't actors; they're not trained. They didn't go to Juilliard. They didn't go to what's the dance? The dance school? School where you dance from. Save the Last Dance. Remember that movie?
No.
With Julia Stiles?
No.
And she was like...
No! Bayside. Bayside High School.
Yeah, Bayside High.
The Jesse Dancing. Yeah.
So, you want to develop this bad luck persona.
Bad luck. Down on his luck, Chuck.
Mm-hmm. And... kind of be that to ward people off. People are going to leave you alone because people in Vegas are all about luck, superstition.
Yeah.
And
I don't want that energy around me.
That. A good tip is you want to vary your routine. Okay. So don't get caught in a loop. A lot of people go to Vegas, they get caught in a Vegas loop. Okay. They have a certain machine they play on. They have a room that they stay in. They have an ATM that they hit. They have a store that they go to or a bar for like their drinks and essentials, right? And you do this little line back and forth between these 3 or 4 places. And you become really easy to look at and follow and observe. And people will know when you're leaving the ATM, when you hit big. They go, they grab you. They put a bag over your head. They carry you through the casino, out an emergency exit that says alarm will sound, but when they do it, no alarm sounds.
Because the casinos are in on it.
They're in on it. And they bring you down to the basement. They break your hands with a hammer. And they take half of your money. Which is like, it's like an old law, like an old Vegas courtesy.
Yeah.
They only take half of your money.
Yeah.
But they break both your hands.
They're like, don't you ever come back to the Bellagio.
Yeah. So, you want to assemble. You want to break up your routine.
Yeah, and you also at that point you're going to want to assemble like a group of I think maybe 10 or 11 guys,
a ragtag.
Yeah, each having their own specialty, and you're going to want to get together with them and figure out your next steps.
Yeah, if you want to get back in that casino, or you could just go to another casino because the casinos they operate like countries where like if you get banned from one country, you're good in the rest of them. Until you're not.
Yeah.
But you want to break up your routine, so you want to hit different ATMs, hit different stores. You want to stay in different rooms. You constantly want to have like 3 rooms that you're renting. Don't just rent the one room.
Yeah.
Rent 3 rooms. You go and stay in this one. You stay in that one. You go here. So that way no one can track you.
Can't track me.
Also, you want to keep a low profile. Whenever you win.
Now, do you mean like physically getting low to the ground and just kind of like sneaking? Like a lot of sneaking, like ducking and kind of just making yourself less visible?
That too, but I think that what I meant by low profile is that you wanted to, first thing you do with your winnings is get some rims for your car, some low profile rims that are like real thin,
Yeah.
And that'll actually probably help you get it lowered while you do it too, because you'll be able to afford it.
And that'll
get you lowered.
It's going to take up the majority of your winnings. So like once you have that done, it's not even going to be an issue of getting grifted anymore because your winnings. It's like they should call it Las Vegas, but it's like they should call it lost wages because you just lose all your money and they get it from you.
Yep, they really should. They should think about changing the name. So you want to keep a low profile if you win. You don't want to say, I won. You don't want to say, oh my God, I won $10,000.
Sin City, with all this gambling going on, they should just call it Win City.
Yeah, you don't want to say that either. And I say that goes for in or out of Vegas. You just don't want to say that.
No, it's probably best.
So you want to stay low-key, low profile. You want to... you could also wear a disguise, which I did. I wore a different outfit, different hair, different glasses.
Now, it sounds to me like, based on the information you've given me, that possibly a member of KISS would be a good disguise because there's apparently not that many of them. So, it might be successful, or is there everybody's dressed like Elvis, right? But you come dressed as KISS.
But I think if you dress as Elvis, you'll blend in with all the other Elvis.
That's true.
Whereas if you're dressed as KISS, you're the only guy dressed as KISS, except for the other guy that I saw.
Who are the members of KISS?
The current members of KISS are Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, Eric Singer, and Tommy Thayer. The group's past members are Ace Frehley, Peter Criss, Eric Carr, Vinnie Vincent, Bruce Kulick, and Mark.
He dressed as Vinnie Vincent, like a little-known member of KISS that was only like there supporting, do like the fair run.
Because that's believable. Because that's like, that's a deep cut.
Nobody's even going to recognize Vinnie Vincent's outfit.
No, they'll think that you're just a clown or something. Which, one of the things on this list is hire a squad of clowns as bodyguards, which I think would be a whole bunch of Kiss impersonators. Then you take care of the whole thing about you being the one Kiss guy. There's a bunch of Kiss guys.
Because, I mean, you figure, like, as Kiss famously suggested, you're going to be rocking and rolling and partying all night and every day. It's
rock and roll all night and party every day. Yeah.
And you can do that in Vegas. You can rock and roll all night. There's, they don't shut down shop for these casinos, and then you can party every day. It's just a big party.
Yeah.
They have these pool parties and all this going on. So, I mean, really, if you're a Kiss fan, man, this is your place.
Yeah. Another thing that you're going to want to do is avoid the stairways.
Oh yeah. So they say Kiss sings "Stairway to Heaven." If you don't avoid the stairways, it's going to be a stairway to hell for you.
Yeah, they do say that. And I think that's really all the advice that I have about Vegas. Go there, have fun, eat at Gordon Ramsay's.
I'm glad you had a good time. I'm glad you had a good time. I'm glad that the Big Mouth Billy Bass convention was therapeutic for you. You didn't really it wasn't quite what I expected from it. Certainly with the submarine and all that. But
I totally forgot, dude. Before we get out of here, I went to Area 15. I went to Omega Mart.
Omega Mart, yeah.
That was one of the things that I asked people on social media. I was like, hey, where should I go? In Vegas, what are your suggestions? Everybody just kept suggesting Omega Mart. Even though I said that I was already going to Omega Mart. And everyone else had already suggested it. They just kept suggesting
Very popular place.
Still to this day, I'm getting suggestions for Omega Mart.
Better go to the Omega Mart, man.
And this is like a glitched out grocery store.
Yeah,
where they have a bunch of weird products.
Like a weird art project.
Yeah. It's like a Banksy.
Mm-hmm.
Like a Banksy opened a grocery store. And then there's all these portals. So in the pharmacy, there was a bar, which was cool. And they made these drinks where they sprayed fucking window cleaner in them and shit. And then, through you go in the milk fridge and it would be like a tunnel into all of these back rooms and big giant areas. And then there was a game that you could play where you would get a card and you would have to go scan it on certain things, and it would give you access to there's offices back there, all the the back of the grocery store, the break room for the customers.
Yeah.
A hallway with a bunch of office doors, and some of them were locked and you had to have the card to scan it. And that was $3 you play the game. And then you get access to all this extra shit. And then there was an office with phones where everyone was working, which is part of the thing. You get hired and then you have to go through training and then you have to make some phone calls.
Jesus.
So this office was just fucking booming with and they filled it up with smoke. So it looked like everyone was just smoking and everyone's at their desks fucking
hacking away, typing away.
Yeah, it's wild.
The 9-to-5 grind.
But, up in the store, we ran around in there for hours and didn't see the whole thing.
It's a big place.
It was big and had multiple levels and everything was all staggered. So we were getting to new places all the time. Bunch of secret passageways. And, we hung out in there forever and then we went up in the store and we bought some stuff in the store. So you could buy all of these
weird products. Yeah.
Yeah. And I got you a product from the store. A product from Omega Mart that is from this Banksy reality.
Okay.
So it's a product, but it's also art.
Yeah.
So this is what I got you.
Gender fluid.
Non-toxic. Gender fluid.
Lavender and Levin Universal High Performance Extreme Multi-Purpose Industrial Strength Gender Fluid.
Mm-hmm.
What is gender fluid?
Gender fluid is when sometimes you feel like a man, sometimes you feel like a woman.
Yeah, it says gender fluid is a form of gender identity and expression. Gender fluid is high-octane sparkling water infused with lavender and lemon.
And also a sexual orientation.
Wow, man. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I don't know if I want to consume this. I might just use it as
Yeah. It has a lot. It's more stable when it's full.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, I don't want to turn into, not that there's anything wrong with that, but I don't want to turn
You don't want to become gender fluid.
Yeah. I'm pretty
to.
comfortable in my own skin as it is. So I don't want to grow breasts or anything like that. But that's awesome. Thank you very much. That's cool.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's not for drinking. It's for display.
Yeah, I mean, it says non-toxic. Are you sure?
It is non-toxic and you can drink it.
I can drink it, but I won't.
They had cereals there, like a bunch of cereals from alternate realities and shit that were like full of actual cereal. And it was wild. A lot of cleaning products. They had peanut, like it was like peanuts, salted peanuts with no peanuts, and it was 100% salt, and it was in like a peanut container.
It was just salt. There's no peanuts. The peanuts had been removed.
But it said it may contain peanuts.
No, wow.
But it felt like all salt. I shook it. It was all salt.
Like a salt thing.
So it was really cool. And I suggest I'm now one of those people
that's you're going to push this on.
Like,
that's how they do it. That's how they get you.
I feel like there's something.
Yeah, they brainwash you to go and recommend it to others.
I feel like there's a trick.
Yeah,
there's something wrong there. Something's a miss.
You were grifted. You were grifted by.
No way.
Yeah, it was a grift. It was a grift.
Wait, I spent a lot of money there.
Yeah, they got you. It's no different than the fellow giving you the gold or the lady with the bracelet. They grifted you.
Yeah, what are the ingredients of that gender fluid? Does it have an ingredients list?
It says vegan, so there's no meat in here, thankfully.
Okay.
Gluten-free, there's probably no like wheat or whatever gluten is. No sugar. It's really just like a list of things
Sounds
that
like
are
there's
not
no anything. Yeah, it's nothing in there.
They grifted you.
Fuck. Just don't go to Vegas.
Stay away.
HabitRat recordings.